And welcome back to part 11 of What If Naruto Had Ate a Devil Fruit, the Kage Kage no Mi edition. Last time, we had the end of the Sound 4. Orochimaru is kind of running out of lackeys, but there's always more lackeys. The Naruto goes on his 3-year training trip. Sasuke stays in the village. Him and Sakura both train up, get stronger. So Naruto got a lot stronger, but a question someone asked that's very fair to ask, because with the way this fruit kind of works, I know I've brought it up before, but it's worth repeating. They asked, wouldn't Naruto gain the abilities of, like, say, Kabuto because he consumed them? And I had to explain, I said basically that's not quite how the devil fruit works. The devil fruit, when it steals a shadow and consumes it, doesn't give the user of the fruit the abilities of the person, at least as far as I could find. It's more like it's storing those shadows inside of it, inside of the shadow. Maybe even storing inside the person itself, hence why he was so big. But it's more that it's using those shadows to grow bigger and stronger for its own shadow, and it's using those shadows to contain them. The shadows can be released and put into corpses, and those corpses have the abilities of the people that were consumed. So right now, Naruto does have consumed Kabuto, Sakura and Ukon, and Jirobo. Jirobo. I did it again, Jirobo. So he does have all those guys consumed, as well as probably a couple other people he's probably eaten during his training with Jiraiya. Not to say necessarily that they're going to be anyone special coming in. But point is, Naruto himself doesn't gain the abilities of these individuals. The Shikaku thing was a special exception I made because of the nature of tailed beasts and how they function versus normal people. So that one I actually felt was an okay one to do. But unless it's a tail beast, Naruto isn't gaining the abilities of the people he consumes the shadows of. Now, with that being said, where do we catch up with Naruto? Well, we catch up with Naruto with him showing back up into the village. He's, he goes, sees the Hokage monument, runs into Konohamaru, runs into Sakura. Honestly, not a lot changes in the interactions that he has. Sakura still thinks he's an idiot. The Shadow tries to save Naruto, but even now having a solid form, so goes, oh crap! It's like, Naruto meets up with the Hokage, meets Kakashi, and meets Sasuke, and they have a look. They look at each other and just kind of stare each other down before kind of like, looks like you have gotten a little strong. I can tell you've gotten a bit stronger there, Dweeb. Right back at you, duck butt. And it's like, you want to make something of it? Anytime you're ready. It's like, you guys literally have been here. You haven't seen each other for years. Been in the room 10 seconds, and you want to beat each other up. What? It's like, well, we might be able to arrange something like that. And so really what it is that they do some variation of the bell test, except Kakashi isn't solely going on against them on his own. Because Kakashi would not be able to handle these guys completely on his own. So he calls in, they call in one extra person, Guy, and Sasuke shudders, like, oh no. And they have the bell test match to try to take these guys on. And until night falls, Naruto would not be using the shadow stealing technique on any of them because he doesn't want to kill anyone. And then when the moonlight comes, Naruto tries to take their shadow, but he's quickly overtaken by Guy. I don't go very much into the bell test part of it anymore. I used to, but I realized it's all going to lead to them passing anyway. So it's kind of just it's a moot point. Gaara is effectively kidnapped by Deidara and Sasori again. Remember, he does still have Shikaku. Only half of Shikaku was taken. And as we know, half of Kurama exists in Naruto, so you can do that with Tailbeast, split him in half. Sorry, I thought I heard something. And so, so they get the word that Gaara is kidnapped. And this comes on the heels of them probably Naruto and Sasuke getting ready to actually go at it again after all this time, saying, all right, let's see who really is stronger now. You're on, Dweeb. And then they're about to ready. All right, ready, set, Team 7, you're needed. Oh, come on! So I can totally see that. It's like, well, I guess we'll get to show off a little bit what we learned on the road. It's like, Kage Kage has been kidnapped. You're the only ones available. This is where Naruto then peps up. And hears the rumbling in his head. Oh, that brat Gaara's been kidnapped again. Wait a minute, he's still got half of me in there. How the hell did that idiot get captured? Will you shut up? It's like, make me. And to which Naruto says, the fox has got to, honestly, I'm agreeing with the fox. I don't want to hear it right now, Shikaku. Gaara didn't have a choice to have you sealed in him, and you didn't have the choice to be sealed in him. So you have no right, really, everything that happened to you isn't his fault. In fact, it's not the fault of anyone who you got sealed in. When you really break it down, because I don't know who the first Jinchuriki of Shikaku was. We know who the one before Gaara was. It was that old man. But we don't know how he got ultimately sealed. But basically, yeah, it wasn't anyone's fault. For all the people you were sealed in, it was never their fault. And Shikaku just kind of scoffs at this, but he actually does shut up a bit about it, because he never actually, because Shikaku, as immature as he is, really never was concerned or considered himself, or considered the people he was sealed in victims. They were always his prison. But at the same time, yeah, they never asked for it. And the shunning Jinchuriki get, why would anyone willingly want that? And he kind of backs off a little. He's like, well, whatever, Brett. Twitchnar just kind of laughs. And the fox even kind of comments. Even the fox is actually kind of quiet for a minute too, because for all it's worth, yes, Minato, I believe, agreed to do it. But Kushina never actually wanted to be the Jinchuriki, as far as she knows, as far as he knows, and he knows for a fact Naruto didn't. And so he could clap back, but he's also being a little quiet about that front too. So they go to rescue Gaara, meet up with Temari. I think Shio gets stopped by Sasuke here, not Naruto. She goes, I was just kidding. And they go try to rescue Gaara. Now, they obviously still run into Itachi. However, Itachi notices Sasuke. Like, I see. So you've grown, little brother, but I'm not interested in you right now. And Sasuke just kind of glares at him, but he's a lot more calm now, a lot more focused. He's learned to channel that anger. And he's got his hand on his sword, because he's going to have a sword. And Naruto, but I don't need the Mangekyo or the Kasukenjutsu. I can do it with a single finger. And to which Naruto actually uses the Fox Chakra, or uses the Nine Tails or Tail Beast Chakra in him to basically just go poof. And Itachi actually sees this. I see, you really have grown stronger, Naruto. To be able to just fend off against Jutsu with chakra alone is no small feat. It's like, I got a little help from that. It's like, you just because we have an agreement, bro, doesn't mean we're helping you. It's like, and to which Naruto says, okay, then what do you call it? Self-preservation. So you're helping me to keep yourself alive. And even the Chicago's like, stupid fox. Itachi would very quickly get overwhelmed, because he just can't keep up. Naruto throws the shadow, trying to steal a shadow, but he does a fireball jutsu, causing the shadow to kind of back off a bit. Intense light would still be bad for the shadow. It's a shadow. That's the nature of the shadow. It's not going to be... it could maybe gain some resistance, but it's never going to be immune to light or fire or anything like that, because it's kind of the nature of the shadow itself. Ultimately, though, Sasuke comes, stabs Itachi through the back, only for it to be revealed that it is not Itachi, it is the sand spy they had. And Naruto is now just enraged. Sasuke's just enraged, like, damn it. Naruto says, we gotta go and get him. He's got Fox Chakra kind of coursing through him right now, because his anger's flaring. But still, they get to the place the Akatsuki were draining Shikaku's chakra. But there is an issue here. Gaara only has half of Shikaku. That means they're going to get done with this with the chakra, the sealing of the chakra, a lot faster than in the original. In the original, they had only just barely managed to take all of Shikaku's chakra when Gaara was on death's door, and then knock knock, they're here. Here, they probably finished a good half hour or two, maybe an hour ago, easy. Gaara has been Now, Gaara was not dead. Keep in mind, I think it gets a little misconstrued sometimes. Gaara was not dead when they finished the extraction, but he was near death. It was very much stated that he was near death. So is Gaara dead at the end of this arc because they left his body there? I'll say this: if he is dead, it is probably for a short amount of time. Like he probably has been dead for a little bit. But Granny Chio's jutsu can restore it. The question is she willing to do it? You're willing to, and Naruto is starting to just like get angry and just rage out, and he's got Fox Chakra, almost like Super Saiyan energy flowing on. He's like, damn you, and all of a sudden his shadow turns to a giant fist. Damn it! Boom, and he just blows a hole straight through, straight into the cave. And everyone's just saying, damn it, I swear I'll get them. I swear I will get them. No matter what. It's like, even now you'll avenge him. He's not just a Kage Kage, he's my friend. He's like me. And I never go back on my word. That is my ninja way. And Granny Chio, I think Granny Chio might be willing to do it. But it comes to the stipulation that in the original, she was already dying. She was poisoned. She was old. Her time had passed. She saw this new era, what they were doing for each other, and she knew that was the right thing to do, was to give her life. Here, they don't really have. She doesn't see Sasori. She doesn't see Deidara. I've been racking my brain on whether or not she would do it, and I think Naruto, having luckily the Talk No Jutsu, as well as just being like so vehemently angry about this, I think he would. I think something about that persuades her. It's like, bring him here. There is a way we can save him. And she starts doing the jutsu. Like, tell me, boy, why is it that you are so sensitive? Why do you believe in such good in others? Back in my day, there was no such thing as that. We were all enemies. Even alliances were fickle things. So why? I was like, because Naruto, his anger softens a bit, but it's more like resolves it. Because honestly, how are we supposed to grow? How is there supposed to be a peace if we continue to, just hate each other for no reason other than we're different? If there's a way to find peace, I'll find peace. I will bring it here. I will make it real. That is my lifetime promise. And Gaara, as to why, I told you before, he's my friend. And she sees the look on his face, and she makes the proper call, and just like, it seems my generation could still learn a thing or two after all. Thank you, Naruto Uzumaki. And she passes, and everyone shows up. It's like, Lord Gaara! And he's fine. He's like, thank God. But still raises the issue of the Shikaku was taken, and both Sasori and Deidara are still very much alive. Deidara was alive anyway, but Sasori's still very much alive in this version now. No Akatsuki members are dead yet. So that's going to pose a bit of a problem. Now, luckily, we can actually just skip right past the Sasuke bridge arc, or the Tenchi, I think it's called the Tenchi bridge arc or something like that, because Sasori's not there to give the bait or the information. Everyone on Team 7 is actually fine. Even Kakashi never had to fight, uses Mangekyo once. But Sasori probably has been getting some false information that Kabuto is still alive, his henchman on the inside, because Orochimaru knew about that, undid the jutsu. And so ultimately when Sasori goes, he sees Orochimaru. Ah, Sasori, it's good to see you again, old friend. Tell me, how have you been? Where is Kabuto? And to which Orochimaru doesn't so much frown, like, but more like, I'm afraid Kabuto met his end some time ago. It's like, you never could be trusted. Oh, not at my hands. No, Kai was too valuable for me to want to kill. No, and this is where he starts to get a little bit more angry. Because he underestimated Naruto twice now. And it cost him Sasuke, and it cost him his best right-hand man. And it's also, and actually technically, 3 times, because it cost him a bunch of his sound 4, too. It's like, no, it was the fox brat of Konan. Naruto was a Maki who did it. It's like, Naruto was a Maki, the Nine Tails container. I see. I see. We've been I believe, was it Sasori? No. I believe Itachi was given the Nine Tails. But we also know that the assignments change depending on how many tail beasts are still around, how tough they are, and who's available in the Akatsuki. So right now Itachi, I believe, does have still the Nine Tails to catch, but Sasori, I think, was also technically given the Nine Tails at the time to catch. So I don't know. Either way, I think Itachi has that order right now. But Itachi is the one who has the order to claim him, though I have my doubts. The question also is how many people know Itachi's sick. Kasame definitely know. We know Toby knew. Obito. I doubt Hidan or Kakuzu knew. And then by that admission, then I doubt Deidara and Sasori knew. Nagato and Konan might have known. But again, there's no indication about it. Itachi kept his cards pretty close to the vest. Only people who was actually trusted to him or close enough to him would have known that. Kasame definitely would have been among them. We know Obito knew. And Zetsu probably knew as well. So yeah, and those 3 probably guaranteed. But Sasori could probably even speculate that I don't know for certain, but it would seem that. Something I don't know if Itachi will be able to complete that. The Nine Tails brat, from what I'm told, has grown quite strong indeed. Which is what, unfortunately, if your organization gets a hands on the Nine Tails, that could be very problematic. And now would Deidara be with him? I don't think so. Deidara's probably still getting his arm fixed, so no. But Sasori's and Sasori's getting ready too, because he kind of knows what's happening here. Oh, what would we be doing about that, Sasori? Well, of course, if there were less of you, well, that would be a lot easier on me. And there's just a brief pause. And he just summons the snakes. Sasori summons the Neils. The snakes get punctured, but the snakes keep coming because, I mean, technically he can do whatever he wants with them. He maybe does like a wind-style jutsu, Orochimaru, because he does have access to all 5 chakra elements. We just very rarely see him ever use elemental jutsu. Striking shadow snake, and he uses. He basically, Orochimaru then brings up the grass longsword, tears into the puppet. Sasori tries to get out of there, only to be like, and say, "Did you really think I haven't known about you for some time, Sasori? No, I knew all of your weaknesses." I see. It seems I've grown a little rusty, or I've grown a little too predictable. Only for those who know you well. I'm sure you would have given Naruto a little bit of a hard time, but unfortunately, you're not capable of taking him down. And you think you are? Not yet, but soon enough I will be. But that's neither here nor there. He just takes out the cords. Now then, Sasori, there's so much I can learn from you. And so, yeah, he takes Sasori's course because there's stuff he'd like to learn from Sasori and from other things about him. Now, granted, he is probably going to need a body again. That's very soon. But what body would be available? After all, he just took Sasori, but Sasori doesn't actually have a body. He's just got a core that he just killed, more or less. But he's going to keep it preserved, study it, all that. As well as all the puppet scrolls that he has, including one special one that Orochimaru, we know if he does enough reverse engineering, can probably learn some things from. In terms of a body for him to take, it's possible he would take Suigetsu, but I don't think he'd go for Suigetsu this time around. Only because there's a lot he can learn from. Again, there's a reason he didn't even take his body. Because, I mean, honestly, the hydrification technique is a great technique. Why didn't he ever take Suigetsu's body? The answer is very likely because he was still using him for research. And he's still probably using him for research. even now, and because he doesn't have Kabuto, he's probably got some other helpers or whatever. But because he doesn't have Kabuto around, he isn't going to be able to. He's not going to be able to get that kind of research done as fast. So there's that. So he takes back the corpse of Sasori back. Zetsu wasn't there as far as we know. So when Sasori doesn't report back in, they do make the assumption that Sasori might be dead. Didn't he say he was going to go see a contact? Yeah, a spy for Orochimaru. Well, that explains it then. Sasori has most likely been killed. And so there's that. Meanwhile, in the village, the elders chew out Tsunade a little bit, but everything went perfectly fine. And they've honestly got a lot more ground to stand on here to not have a root member placed on Team 7 because they already got a full team. And Danzo tries to insert his authority in there because he is there. They bring Danzo in to explain. He tries to explain that, yes, no, Naruto Uzumaki is too valuable to be left unsupervised. While you have our rights, we have our rights too. So unfortunately, there's a compromise. There will be a rotation member with Sai, and they do meet Sai as they're walking along. Naruto and Sasuke are playing. All right, so should we actually have that match today? And Sasuke, well, I would, but I'm starving. Yeah, me too. Why don't we play it for tomorrow? Because I don't want to fight on an empty stomach, but I don't want to fight right after having lunch either. Sasuke's like, yeah, maybe we can get something to eat or something like that, I guess. And they're just casually walking, and they run into Kiba. Hey, Naruto, you're back. It's like, whoa, Akamaru, Kiba. And then all of a sudden, he's like, yeah, he's got so big. Never used to know. He used to ride in your head. And then all of a sudden, yeep, there Hinata sees Naruto. Oh, hi, Hinata. Boop. She passes out. Hinata wakes up, and luckily, this time, Naruto's like, oh, Hinata, are you okay? You passed out. And Sasuke's like, it looks at Kiba's like, does he still not realize? Like, nope. Shino's also bummed too, because he didn't get recognized. But this time Naruto's a lot more, he's like, just come with me now. No, he's not like that. But he's very much like, oh, Hinata, are you okay? And she's like, yes, I'm okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I was like, it's good to see you again, Naruto's like, oh, it's good to see you again too, Hinata. I was like, you know what? I don't know. What do you take into the fact she had grown? Who knows? He didn't really bat an eye at Sakura, so probably not. Now, granted, and look, in terms of design, we gotta say, it's like, she developed a lot more than Sakura did. Weirdly enough, though, Boruto Sakura seemed a lot more developed than Boruto Hinata. Though, to be fair, that's probably just the way the artist tried to draw her, as far as we can tell in terms of development, and I'm using that word diplomatically. Hinata seemed to be the more rounded person. Hinata had better curves and better tits. There, I said it. There's no other, and a better ass probably too. I don't know. I'm not looking. But I've seen the internet. I've seen what you guys have done. But yeah, no. From everything we can tell, curvature wise, yeah, she had more development than Sakura did. But again, I say all that not just to be pointing it out, but to say that Naruto is still probably too dense to notice that shit. So yeah, they go. They also see Choji and Shikamaru. They're having a good laugh. All of a sudden, they get attacked by the Ink Lion. And Naruto's shadow immediately comes to life. And Naruto's come in. So is Sasuke. And they're charging in at the Ink Clones. Shikamaru does the shadows. And Naruto asks, mind if I borrow them? Borrow them. And all of a sudden, the shadows start moving past. And he actually separates a little part. Don't worry, I'll give it back, Shikamaru. And starts and he actually just throws the shadows at any extra ink that's ink creatures that are coming before he pops it back at Shikamaru. It's like, that felt weird. What the hell did he just do? By the way, someone did ask, could he learn shadow subjugation technique, I think it's called, that Jiraiya used to hide in the shadow? Absolutely. I think that's something Jiraiya did teach him. So Naruto could hide in the shadow. It's just a matter of doing it at some point. But that is a little bit of the reveal of what Naruto's awakened Devil Fruit can do. It can actually manipulate shadows themselves. See, the normal version of and he's like, oh, you guys are pretty weak. Are you guys girls? And then disappears, and they meet up with Sai later. So he's going to be a rotational team member on the team. He's like, whatever, fine. But that's the thing I wanted to like end on, just explaining how the devil fruit is kind of awoken, because we've only seen so many awoken devil fruits. We've seen the string fruit, Kaido's devil fruit, obviously Luffy's. I believe the cat model panther we awakened. We've seen the way, but there's like I could probably count on the 10 fingers the amount of awakened devil fruits we've seen. Or awoken, depending on how you want to go with grammar-wise. But this one's not one of them. So how do you do that? His shadow, normally, he can manipulate his own shadow. He can steal other people's shadows. And he can, pop those shadows into corpses to puppet them. However, the thing I think that is the most logical route to awaken this devil fruit is he can just now manipulate all the shadows around him. Like, he can steal all... If you want to, he can steal the shadows of an entire forest. Think about this for a second, and I might do this later on. He can steal the entire shadows of all the trees in the forest, and they burst into flames and set the forest into flames. And he now has all these extra shadows fueling his devil fruit now. Or he can just control those shadows and do what he wants with them. It becomes literally a hellscape of shadows and nightmares, basically. So Naruto's awoken version of this devil fruit, I think, would be insanely powerful. It's already an insanely powerful devil fruit on its own. So ultimately, that's Naruto's awakened devil fruit, awakened. But where are we leading towards now? Well, this would be we leave off leading into the Hidan Kakuzu section, and yeah, I think we'll continue on there. If I were to guess, how many more parts of this what if we have? Because we're now starting to reach the tail end. We're going to be having, that's probably at least that. I'm guessing at minimum 3 more. So keep your eyes out for that. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.